What's up, everybody? I hope everybody is having an amazing day. I hope everybody is doing really well today, and I hope everybody is just enjoying their day today. And if you're not, I'm sending you love and positivity. So yeah, I feel like these immigration laws were not built for us. For number one, like, go through the immigration process, you tend to see like how stressful and like, oh wow, this is so weak, how stressful it like really is. Like, in so many cases, these immigration lawyers tend to reject the cases that are actually genuine. Like, clearly, if people are given every single piece of evidence and, you know, every single piece of, you know, proof that they have to show like, okay, this relationship is real, you know, we didn't just marry, you know, just to get green cards or whatever, they tend to reject those and actually, you know, pass to people who are actually only marrying for green cards. If you go through the process, you know how stressful, how draining it can be financially, emotionally, and, you know, sometimes it even takes a physical toll on you. Like, man, it's sad how we're just, you know, these laws are just designed to just fail people, you know? You know, obviously these laws aren't fair, clearly. Like, it should never take 7 years or, you know, 4 years or whatever for a case to be approved, you know? And it's crazy how immigration officers can make one accusation in the interview, because how they have it set up is, okay, you apply for the papers, then it's like you go through an interview, then it's like you sit through the interview, they ask you questions, and they ask your spouse questions or like the immigration lawyer questions, and then it's like, you know, based upon those answers or, you know, the questions afterwards, like, I don't know if it's immediately where they actually type it up, and it's not even verbatim. So like, the immigration lawyers, oh my bad, the immigration officers can falsify reports and not be held accountable for it, because ultimately you're the one who has to pay, because you're, for one, you're denied, then sorry, yo, okay. My bad. Like, you know, you're denied and you're constantly sending denial letters. Then it's like, you know, once you sent off all the proof the second time around, it's like they're not trying to hear you out, you know, they're not even listening, they don't care. Then when you go down to the office, you know, they refuse to see you, don't give you no sort of information, don't give you no sort of, you know, direct answers, you know. And it's crazy how, you know, you have to go through so many lawyers, do extensive paperwork, pay an ample amount of fees, because you're out of thousands of dollars, like thousands. Then it's like, you know, then what? It's like you sit and wait, because you're constantly calling the, I think this is the USCIS office, and they never seem to know exactly where the case stands. They never seem to know exactly what's going on with your case. And it's like, yo, you know, I've been waiting for 4 years, 5 years. Nobody has given me a direct answer. Like, and it sucks. It sucks, because at any given point, like, you fear, you know, yourself or your spouse getting deported, and you basically have no control over that. So then it's like, yo, if they get deported, then I have to make these drastic changes, like uproot everything and move, possibly to a different country. And it sucks, and it's draining because you're not even allowed to travel internationally because you're scared that you or your spouse aren't able to re-enter into the States, but you're able to travel inside of the States. It's like, yo, like, I've been to damn near all 50 states to see France. I would definitely like to see Turkey. Hell, Greece. But you can't right now. It's stressful. And it's like with the Trump administration, it's making it so much harder to live in the States, to be a person of color, and to be an immigrant or a migrant here. It's sad because immigration laws are tightened up. Think about these kids who were forcibly separated from their parents. Some waited over a month for them to be reunited with their kids. And some are still in these detention centers. Some parents still have no idea where their kids are. And it sucks, like, to have to live in fear every single day, to worry about, dang, what if my husband or my wife or myself gets stopped by the cops or ICE and they ship them off to a detention center before actually having them deported. Then it's like, where are the means of communication? Because then you have to go through more lawyers, and more money to spend that you don't have. And it sucks because in my situation, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my brothers-in-law, everybody is over in Turkey, and it's hard for them as it is for us, but more so harder for them because of the fact that they haven't seen their son in probably over 7 years. And it's like for the past 4.5 years, we've been fighting with immigration. We've sent every single proof that we have, that we've accumulated, that, our case wasn't a bogus case. And in our situation, the immigration officer literally lied in our report. Like, he falsified everything. And we went to 2 separate immigration lawyers to address this issue, and they all say the same thing about this immigration officer, that, okay, this guy is known for lying in reports and for giving people a hard time. And I feel like if we would have had a different immigration officer, we would not be going through this. It would have had a completely different outcome. It would have had a completely different result. Like, we could have had a green card, we would have been gone to Turkey, everything. We would have actually been able to travel outside of the States by now. And unfortunately, I know another person who's going through the exact same thing. And then, somebody else that I recently spoke to said that it took her husband 7 years. It might have been her ex-husband. 7 years. 7 years for them to receive his green card and his citizenship. 7 years. And it sucks. It sucks because the people who are actually being approved for these green cards, about 60% of them don't deserve it. And why I say 60% is because some of them are actually just getting the green card simply for the marriage, and then they either don't see that spouse again or they just immediately divorce. So when I hear people talking about, oh, immigrants should be immediately deported, and they should build a wall, and you know, Trump shouldn't allow immigrants to enter into the States. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Probably about 70% of the people in the US are immigrants. Are immigrants or migrants. Trump himself is a product of immigrants. His wife is an immigrant. It's just so emotional thing to talk about because how problematic this is. It sucks. And it's like, if you've never gone through the process, you wouldn't possibly understand. You can't possibly understand how draining and how stressful it is, monetary, emotionally, and physically. It's draining. And the process is extensive. And it's like, once you get denied the first time, it makes it twice as harder for you to get approved, you know, when you apply for the second time. And it's like, after the second time, if you get denied, that's it. That is it. You don't have another shot. You don't have another chance. I mean, if you get deported, you have to wait like 20 years before you can apply again. And it's like, by that time, people are dead. I'm sorry, so I hate to say it, but like, people are dead. You know, parents get sick, especially when they're like in old age. When they're sickly, it sucks. At the point where I'm like, I'm just so over the US. I really am. Like, don't get me wrong, I was born and raised here. Growing up, I felt like nothing was better than the US. Like, yo, we've got it easy. You know, now it's like, this is one of the worst countries to live in. It's hard for you to be a person of color. It's hard for you to be a minority. It's hard for you to be a female Muslim. It's hard for you to be Muslim, period. Like, if you look over the past 3 years of how many people have been murdered due to the fact of them being Muslim. The amount of assaults, attacks have been towards Muslims, it's higher than in the past 10 years. And people, you know, don't really understand that. Some people don't really understand that. You know, I remember getting into an argument with my mother and my nephew's mother, who was at the time my brother's girlfriend, which they are no longer together, because she was like, yo, Trump should deport all these immigrants. I'm like, are you serious? And then my mother looked at me and she was like, wait, isn't your husband an immigrant? I was like, yes, he is. Is he here illegally? No. He's not here illegally, but we're still going through the process for him to be here permanently. And I'm like, people from different countries come here for various reasons. Many people come here for one, a better life. You know, there's so many economic issues in different countries. Venezuela, Colombia, different parts of the Ukraine, probably Czechoslovakia too, you know, the Dominican Republic, different countries in Africa. You know, people come here for various reasons. Some people come here to escape civil wars in their country. Some people come here to find financial freedom, religious freedom, whatever. Some people come here for America's economy. Some people come here because they know that they'll have better rights here. But now it's like I'm not even too sure if it's worth staying or if it's worth coming here. I don't know if it's worth coming here or if it's worth staying here. So I was recently talking to a sister from Canada, and she was like, I would never step a foot on US soil. I'm like, I don't even blame you. I don't blame you at all. Like, Trump is out here changing laws and just making it that much harder to be Muslim and to be minorities, period, and to live. She was like, I would never come here. I was like, I don't blame you. I don't even want to be here. If I had the choice to be in any other country, I would have been left. I mean, I don't care if I have to purchase a passport and expedite it. I don't care. Anyways, so that's just what I want to talk to y'all about. You know, just clearly, I know I'm not the only one that's going through this, but I know for sure it'll help somebody else who's going through it to know that they're not alone. Trust me, I'm going through it too. It sucks. I know sometimes you feel like you've exhausted all of your options. Sometimes you just literally just cry yourself to sleep at night wondering like, man, how much more do I have to take? You know, when does it get easier? I mean, I honestly have no answer for when does it get easier, because we're just living day by day. That's all we can do, just live day by day. Some days are better than others. Just be optimistic. Keep trying. You know, because that's honestly one of my biggest fears, of my husband being deported, and there's like nothing else that I could do. Everybody is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. So just be kind to everybody. Be kind to the next person. Be considerate. You know, don't just speak ignorance without thinking of your words. You know, think twice before you say something. Because there's some people out here who have it a lot worse than others. Some people's situations are a lot more complex than what you see, because everything isn't perceived the way that you think. So I will leave you guys with that, and just keep others in your prayers. Even if that's all you have, pray. Assalamu alaikum. See you later.